Hello and welcome to Women of Substance. Today I have a very special guest. Her name is Tina Descovich, and she is just a remarkable woman. I believe that she will inspire you. About 4.5 years ago, she started a nonprofit, national, nonpartisan organization fighting for the survival of America by unifying, educating, and empowering parents to defend their parental rights at all levels of government. And so she established Moms for Liberty. She just did it in her house, started there with very low financial budget, but it has grown so much in the last 4.5 years that she has and her co-founder, Tiffany, they have over 400 chapters in 48 states. So we are just thrilled that she could share some of this with us, and again, to empower us to start where we are. Start where you are. If you have a vision to help people or do something, even do something in your church, do something for God. Sometimes you have to start small, but God will bless your efforts and be there with you and multiply your seed that you sow into what He's asking you to do. Tina and her husband, Derek, they have 5 children. And she has served on the school boards. She has been a chairman of the school board. She has volunteered in her community for children's hunger projects, been a friend and a past president of Sally's Friends, a nonprofit addiction recovery home for mothers, and her also a youth teacher in her Sunday school. So very, very active, and you'll see a lot of that energy comes through during this interview. She has her bachelor's degree in communication and has handled many jobs with a lot of corporate money and just been so successful. And at one endeavor, she had 650 volunteers. So that shows you what a great manager she is. Also, they have had summits with this Moms for Liberty, and our Governor DeSantis, has been interviewed at 2 of their summits, one here even in Tampa. And then last summer, President Trump came to her summit and was interviewed there by the co-founder, by Tiffany. And if you go on their website, we'll have it up on the screen. It's a tremendous, it's over an hour long interview with our president. So you'll want to hear that. I believe that just the work that she's done already and what they're wanting to accomplish and needing to accomplish, there's so many issues in the schools with children. And I'm sure you know some of those from listening to the news, seeing things, written material. And I like what is on their website. It says, quote from John Adams, "Children should be educated and instructed in the principles of freedom." I think that is so classic and so important. And then they really stress the fact that government will try overreaching and that parents have the authority in their children's lives. So as you listen to this, just glean so many things out of it because it's just packed full. And then also, if you know someone who might need to listen to it, let them know, text or send them the link, call them and tell them about it so that others can hear what this wonderful organization is doing called Moms for Liberty. So here we go. God bless. Hello and welcome to Women of Substance today. I have a very special guest, and We met in Washington, D.C. not too long ago through a mutual friend. And I'm so glad to have you, Tina, today on the podcast. And we've been reading a little bit and just listening to some of your guests, even that you had last year at your summit, which included President Trump. I believe it was in October of 2024. Is that correct?
It was in the summer of 24, but our summit this year will be in October in Orlando.
Oh, in Orlando. Yeah. So I know it'll be another great one. But I just would like for you to tell our audience a little bit about Moms for Liberty.
Oh, of course. It's my favorite thing to talk about. So I'm share as much as you want to hear. So Moms for Liberty, we are only 4.5 years old. We launched in 2021 in January with my co-founder and I. We were former school board members here in Florida. Different counties, we did not even know each other when we came together in just a miraculous way. And we decided that we wanted to start an organization to help parents be better advocates because we were watching parents across the country failing miserably to address their school boards with a variety of things. Some states, they were trying to get schools open. Some were fighting masks on children. Some were fighting curriculum and different things. And I mean, all of America saw the school boards were shutting off their mics and locking their doors and dropping accidentally off of Zoom meetings and all types of things. So we thought, let's help these parents be better advocates and be more effective in helping children and improving education. And so Moms for Liberty was born. And, we're 4.5 years old now. We are in 48 of the 50 states. Shout out to Utah and Vermont. They're the big holdouts for some reason. And we have 130,000 active members on the ground.
Wow, that's amazing. It just tells how much this needed to be done and how much help parents do need. So what's happening right now?
Oh, there's so much happening right now. As everyone knows, President Trump signed an executive order to shut down the Department of Education.
Yes.
And, that has a lot of ripple effects on state policy. It moves a lot of the power back to states, to local school boards, and puts power back in parents' hands. But in order to have that power and use it properly, people need to be educated, understand how the processes work, and know what they want and be able to fight for true and correct principles when it comes to guiding their school districts and the policies that are being passed that are impacting children. So that's the biggest thing, I think, in the national news on the radar. But we have all kinds of things going on. The elections were just in Wisconsin last week. We had endorsed 18 school board candidates in the state, and we won 12 of the 18 races.
Oh,
so really excited!
Congratulations! That's awesome.
Yeah, we have, we have a million things going on at all times around here.
Yeah. Well, I think it's so good that one of the things is that that you create an awareness, first of all, that things need to be changed. I'm over 60. I'm a grandmother, but my children homeschool or some grandchildren are in a private school, Christian school. So, sometimes I'm not as aware as a Christian, even in church world, as aware of what's happening in school board meetings and even in the public schools. And I think it's so wonderful that you are educating and then even advocating for change, because many times we don't. I mean, you might hear some on the news here and there, but generally we don't know the opposition that you're facing and the harm that it's doing to our children.
Yeah, exactly. So when I was on the school board, it used to frustrate me to no end. I'm in a 60% red county, with a pretty conservative school board at the time. But, one school board member could only do so much. And so if, say, history textbooks were up for adoption, by state law here in Florida, you have to hold two meetings, two public forums where you bang the gavel and ask for any public comment from the floor about the books you're about to adopt. And I would raise the banner and the flag all the time in the community. I would, put it out on social and do all that I could. And by law, put it in the paper. Parents never showed up. They never cared. A school board member can't review 12 years of history textbooks in that adoption window. You need the community, you need parents. So when we started Moms for Liberty, that's one of the things that we we sounded the alarm to, like, parents, chapters, you need to get together and work together. So the work, you spread out the work, but you've got to be having eyes on what's being taught in schools.
Yeah. And so what would be their first step? Would you suggest that they, first of all, go to the school board meetings and be a part of the meetings, and then just be more aware of what their children are reading at school, or what's in the libraries? Or
Yeah, gosh, there's so many first steps. So you really need to make sure you're checking the backpacks, especially elementary school kids. See what's coming home. A lot of times, if you just open the backpack, open that take-home folder, you will see assignments that are concerning. Check the book, obviously, textbooks, review them, review the lessons, see what's in there. And when you find concerns, speak up, because it's usually a much deeper problem that is happening. And so take them first to the teacher. Obviously, the teacher may address it right away, may not have realized there was a problem. If the teacher doesn't address it, you take it to the principal. If the principal doesn't address it, you take it to the school board. But first and foremost, you should join your Moms for Liberty chapter so that you have allies and friends that will stand with you when you need to get to that school board meeting.
And how would they do that?
momsforliberty.org. You go find your chapter. There's a map on the map on the front of the website. And if it's gold your county, that means there's a chapter there already. Click on it and you can connect right to them. If it's navy blue, that means you don't have a chapter yet. We have about 320 chapters or so out of the 3,000 counties in the country. So we have a ways to go. If it's navy, you can click on it and start a chapter.
And how many do you have here in Florida?
Oh, that's a great question. I want to say we're close to 30, maybe 32. We have 67 counties. So at least half the state is covered in chapters.
That's great. That's wonderful. And some people would think, well, you don't need it in Florida, but you do, don't you?
Yeah. Just this week at the local high school here in my county, a teacher contract was not renewed for using the pronouns that the student wanted over the pronouns that the parents should be used for the student. And so the stuff is going to continue to go on, and parents have to be alert at the most local level.
Yeah. Also, you have a store on your website that I think is interesting. I love the different items, and there's T-shirts, there's all jewelry, all kinds of things. One of the T-shirts said, "We do not co-parent with the government." I think that was my favorite.
Yeah, that was our best-selling T-shirt for the first year, for sure. I think it's died down a little bit, but we use it a lot. We use a lot in our graphics and definitely in our talking points, because it's very clearly states what we're fighting for. Our mission at Moms for Liberty is to unify, educate, and empower parents to defend their parental rights at all levels of government. In short, we do not co-parent with the government. The parents have the ultimate say on everything, not just from education, but the medical care, the moral and religious upbringing. Everything that has to do with children, parents have the say. And so the government doesn't get to do that. Not a school board, not a state government, not a federal government. And so we do not co-parent with the government really sums it up.
It is. That's a great motto. And you defend these parental rights at all levels of government. I think that's outstanding. I like also what you quoted John Adams as saying, children should be educated and instructed in the principles of freedom. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Schools need to get back to the basics. As we know, these last 5 years, maybe even 10 years, they've been focusing on things like social justice, gender ideology, comprehensive sex ed. And to anyone's standards, these are not acceptable to be happening in schools, especially when the national reading scores right now are the lowest they've been since the 80s. Only 1/3 of children in fourth grade in America are reading on grade level. And the math scores are the lowest they've ever been in the history of the United States. So children should be instructed on how to read first and foremost, so that they can learn everything else they need to, they learn. Math, science, history, social studies, and the principles of freedom. That is one of the purposes of education in a government system like ours, in a republic with democratic tenets, where it's a citizens-based government, and you have to be educated and knowledgeable. You have to understand the founding principles of this country in order to be able to do your civic duty and vote. And so absolutely, John Adams' quote resonates with us, and that's why we use it throughout our website. Yeah,
that's great. It's wonderful. Wonderful quote. So they have restricted the school curriculum at some points and places. What do you see maybe in the state of Florida where they've done that?
like taking gender identity out of curriculums in Florida schools.
Right. Some of that and other things that they might, maybe even government, issues, bringing in possibly, the mindset of socialism, et cetera.
Yeah, I'm not sure that any of that has been restricted in the state of Florida. The only thing I am aware of is that we had the bill 2 years ago that restricted gender identity being taught from kindergarten through second grade, which means, for those that aren't aware, that schools were teaching children they could be a boy or a girl, neither or both, as young as kindergarten through second grade. And so, there was a bill that went through the House, it started in the House, went through the Senate, and the governor DeSantis signed that. Moms for Liberty was behind that bill all the way, was there for the signing and championed it as it was being debated on the floor as an important measure. The following year during legislative session, they extended that through K-12. So gender ideology cannot be taught in K-12 in the state of Florida. But I think that's the only restriction that I know of in Florida. And
our governor has been very favorable and even spoken at one of your summits, I think here in Tampa.
Yeah, he spoke for 2 years at our summits, 22 in Tampa and 23 in Philadelphia.
That's wonderful. He's a great governor and we love him very much. Well, good. Well, I just want to say that we appreciate your organization so much. And I want to encourage people who are watching to definitely go to your website, support you and go to the store and get some items and then sign up. I think there is a parental pledge, right?
Yeah, so you can get involved in numerous ways. At a bare minimum, you can sign up for our emails and alerts to find out what's going on and stay informed. We would appreciate if you do that. You can become a national member. It's free. You can go to Join the Fight on our website right on the front page and really support the organization as a whole. Once you join the fight and you see that you have a local chapter, you can join your chapter. There's associate members, which still is free. And then there's voting members within a chapter, which sometimes has a local fee to it. Obviously, you can donate to Moms for Liberty also on our website under the donate button. We are a 501c4 nonprofit, and we also have our Moms for Liberty Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. And, also you can buy merch. All the proceeds from merch come right back to Moms for Liberty and help support the good work our parents are doing on the ground.
That's great. Well, I appreciate you so much, Tina. Thank you for taking your time. And again, I encourage you to get involved and find out what's happening and find out what your part can be and how you can help in this situation. Thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you.
All right. So if you know some things about this and you're not doing anything about it, first of all, pray, find out from God your part and what you can do. And if you're a parent and you see things that are happening with your child that just aren't right, take some action and get involved. One of the things I know Moms for Liberty does is encourage people to run for school board. And so, if you're interested in that, I think that would be a wonderful way to serve your community and help in some of these situations that have just gotten ridiculous, taking away parental rights. So get involved. We're praying for you, and we want you to be inspired today and empowered to do what God's called you to do. God bless you, and we'll see you next time. Thank you again for joining us. And I just want to let you know that these Women of Substance podcasts are the first and third Fridays of every month. So we do 2 a month just to encourage and empower you and inspire you. Tell other people about them when you listen to them and it means something to you. Let some other people know about it because we really want to get the word into women's hearts that they are significant, they're important to God, and they can do what He's called them to do. If you would like to donate to Women of Substance podcast, we appreciate your support because it does cost finances to get these done, and we appreciate any support. We've had probably about 30,000 listeners, and it's just so exciting to hear people tell me, Scarlett, I heard this interview, or I heard your teaching on this, and it really helped me. It brought me to a place of faith when I was struggling, or, a situation that it got me through that situation. So if you would like to contribute also, you can do that by going to SCARLETTHorton.com. Also, if you need prayer, we would love for you to write prayer requests. We love to pray, and we love to pray for any needs that you have at office@ScarlettHorton.com. Also, contact us. We have a Grace and Faith magazine that we put out usually once a quarter, and it gives information about Horton Ministries. My husband, David Horton, and I travel overseas a lot. We give reports of where we've been and the many people that have gotten saved and filled with the Holy Ghost, the miracles that God does. And I know that you would love to read that magazine as well. So let us know if you'd like it. And then we want to invite you, if you're in the Tampa Bay area on vacation, or maybe you live down here and you didn't know that there's a Word of Faith Grace Church called Grace Harvest Church, and it's in Holiday, and we would love to have you come. We have services Sunday morning at 10 and Wednesday night at 7. So I know that you would love our church. Then also on our website, we have a lot of faith-building resources. David has written some books, and I've written a book and a workbook, and then we have some new books coming out very soon. So these resources would help you, and they're ScarlettHorton.com, and you can go on and see those if you would like to purchase those. And then if you would like to book us for an event, any kind of conventions or conferences, we love to minister and travel and preach as well. So we'd love to do that. Again, if you need prayer, don't hesitate. We know God hears and answers prayer. God bless you.